Atlantis here. That's the biggest trick they ever pulled. We are the land of the richest resources. The reason why we have as much rights or as much seem like freedoms than any other blacks in any other country is because this is our country and we are the original landowners.
Yes, sir.
Right? So they brought in these Asians or Siberians to claim they are Native Americans. Well, it's indigenous Americans that was already here. And my grandfather is part of that bloodline. Right?
Yes,
now, these people aren't called Indians. They wasn't called Indians. Right? However, they was named Indians. Right? So, somewhere in the 1800s, I gotta look it up, it was this act to basically declassify Indians, basically. So you had to classify as black, right?
Yes, sir.
Or you had to classify something like that, right? So there's a lot that we don't know. I mean, you take Georgia, for instance. The state of Georgia got so many pyramids there, but we wouldn't know because we can't access more than half of Georgia. Most people don't know they can't access about half of the state of Georgia. Why is that?
Yes,
right?
sir.
So we are the people of Atlantis, all right? Anywhere else in the world, right? We have the Atlantic Ocean. We are Atlantis, right?
Yes, sir.
Atlantis could not be in Africa and they have the Pacific Ocean. Why would Atlantis be where the Pacific Ocean is?
True.
Not only that, the mother has enough nutrition, water, and food to feed her offspring. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So this land has the most water and the most food out of any land that ever existed. We surrounded by water, I think 80-something%. We have the most, we had the giants here. So I don't know if you know that it used to be giants that roamed the lands.
You talking about the
giants?
You talking about Anunnaki, Elohim? What you talking about?
Well, even after Anunnaki, it was giants here.
They call him Milithic or something like that, or Neil.
Something like that. Big black dudes with dreadlocks.
Okay.
12 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? These guys was here, right? Because if you look, there's a map that I could get you, but this map will show you where all the water springs in the world are, right? America has tons of freshwater springs, right? And you go to other countries like Africa, and they got maybe 13, 12. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So the thing is, even with the hieroglyphs, you know, you look at the hieroglyphs, and you know, we was told that this is what it translates to. We haven't actually tried to translate it ourselves. We could probably translate it better than anybody could translate it because that belongs to us.
Yes, sir.
That's a fact.
Let me jump in here and just give some validity to what you're saying, just so we can vibrate back and forth. Now, I did some research on that. One of the bros on Facebook, I got some real deep content on my page. He had a video going into exactly what you were saying as far as America being Egypt and the things that you were saying. And man, I listened to a whole hour-long program and it was hitting on them same type of things. So anybody who's listening right now, you know, and think that this is something blasphemous, it really takes a whole nother thing to look into. Because even the Olmecs, you know, they got them big statues of African faces there in Florida, the Olmecs. And then, yeah, even hearing about
they found more here than anywhere in the world. Now, they found a few in Africa or India. They found a few in India. However, those big statue heads are from this country.
Yeah, they built them right here, yeah. And even going into the idea what you're saying about Atlantis, from the channels that I was hearing from as far as like the Bermuda Triangle, You know, the reason why
Atlanta, the city of Atlanta was uptown Atlantis, right? So you had Egypt spanning from Georgia down to Alabama.
Okay.
Right? So you had a lower and upper Egypt, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, it's funny about Atlanta because Atlanta was the capital of Atlantis, right?
Okay.
They even have the first black college there, which I think was Clark College. One of those colleges was Clark College, and it wasn't meant to be a college. It was meant to be a collage. See? What they did was they took because when they got here, they realized that we had buildings that looked like the White House already. They was used to huts.
Yes, sir.
Right? So what they did was they took all the, once they gained some order, they was able to collect the inventors, the mathematicians, and the scientists here, and put them all together in one place, and they called it a collage, right? So they could be in control of any inventions that came out. Today we call it a college. I think one of the next ones was Spelman, collage, not college,
yes,
right?
Sir.
So they had a collage of us. Pumping out these ideas and inventions and stuff like that. And that's why these historical colleges was the first colleges, and even though they were black colleges, we didn't have black schools hardly. So why would we have black colleges?
Yes, sir.
So
man,
you just gotta know that. We all need to know that we all been lied to.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was.
A lot of lines to cipher through.
And we're gonna have to transition a little bit, but thank you for that. And that's kind of like what we was kind of sharing as far as, in order for us to be ready for this tremendous change, we at least gotta wait. We gotta really wise up. And
well, the thing is,
go ahead.
This is my thing.
Yes,
this is my thing. I don't mean to cut you off, but this is my thing.
Ahead.
In this world, nothing goes without evolving. It's such thing called evolution. Everything evolves.
Yes, sir.
Anything living evolves, even if it's a plant, right?
Yes, sir.
So, 200 years ago, certain plants or certain trees wasn't trees. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They was little flowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is, you know, I heard somebody talking about evolution. And the thing is, we ruled for 1 million years. We did. We ruled 1 million years before them boys walked out of the Caucasus Mountains.
True.
Right? The thing is, they only been in rule for about 400. Right?
Very short amount.
Maybe 5.
Very
right?
short. Mm-hmm.
The thing is,
that's all our history books. All the history books are based off of that.
So the thing is, was we supposed to rule forever, and will we get back to that? I mean, is there such thing as evolving, right?
Yes, sir.
So was it supposed to come to this?
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Is this part of the evolving process?
Yes,
like, I don't think we ever take that into consideration. Not saying that it should be like it is, but I'm saying, you know what I mean, if it's a higher power or a higher plan or play, was it supposed to be like this? Is this part of evolving? I mean, we ruled for 1 million years. Somebody been ruling for 400 or 500. I mean, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, I got some. I'm gonna tap into that in a little bit. But you got anything else you want to kind of get off your mind? Cause I gotta.
No. I just wanted to call in. I heard you saying that, you know, we all come from Africa, and I just don't, you know. I just wanted to say something in that way.
I feel you.
Just to give you some, you know, something to think about or maybe research.
Please do. And before you can you send me some information like you said about the Mashikians? I want to know how to spell that properly. If you could just put that on.
Yeah, Mashik. Yeah. His mom was actually his mom was supposed to be a goddess, right?
But yeah, if you could send that, if you could just,
but it was one of the goddesses in that area at one time. But he's supposed to be a son of that goddess. His name was Mashik. Yeah, I try to find some stuff and send it to you.
Please do. I'm gonna research that.
Some real guys that I be with on TikTok. These boys get into it, man. I'm talking about they get into it.
We need more of that. We need more. This, like I said, this is freedom time. This is the idea. This is the time for that knowledge to be expressed. So thank you for calling in. Hey, bro, the knowledge you bring in, you always welcome. You're always welcome to call in, man. Appreciate you.
And you're welcome to come on the show too, bro.
For sure.
We like to have you in the studio.
Yeah, people are waking up.
Man.
Open that throat chakra up, and we ain't got nothing to be scared of. So I appreciate you.
Oh, trust me, I ain't scared to talk. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. All right, peace to you, God.
All right, I'll talk to y'all.
All right, peace. So this kind of piggybacking just with the last thing that the guy went into as far as, is this all supposed to happen in the form of evolution? If you're asking me, I'll say absolutely. There's nothing that surprises God. There's nothing that is taking place on this particular realm that is without being seen. And so with that is, like he said, evolution. We have to definitely evolve. And if you feel comfortable with the world that we live in, maybe the world is already a heavenly place. I believe for 99% of the people that can actually hear this program don't believe that at all. That means there's just work to do. But before we can evolve this world, we got to make sure that we evolve ourselves. Hence, that's our if we understand the true capacity that we are in, and this goes into what's called double slit theory or double slit experiments, as far as how you and I, yes, you who are listening home right now, you are an energetical being, you are a divine being, you are an interdimensional being, and you have ability to interact with matter around you to cause your world to come into fruition. And on a mass consciousness level, if you can keep the masses dumbed down, you can really affect what's going on in the world, even in form as the weather as well. The Native Americans proved that when they used to do their rain dances. What they did with their rain dances, they didn't call upon a god for it to rain. They didn't call upon the wind. They didn't call across the oceans or anything. They actually imagined. They visualized this particular aspect having happened, and it happened on cue. So that's the evolution that we're moving into. That's what Jesus was speaking about when he said, greater work shall ye do. So he was alluding to this particular time. Even in the Revelations was alluding to this particular time. So this is the time for evolution. So it's, like I said, great and dreadful day of the Lord. It's great if you have that understanding, and most of us do not. Hence is the reason why I try my best to be on this particular program and on the Ptah Shakur Speaks program on Monday as well, to share that particular, to give us a fighting chance. This is serious. There's some people who are waking up this morning or may wake up next morning and they think that they're living in hell. They're just so used to suffering and so used to pain that we internalize that to think that maybe God determined them to be that way. And so they have this mentality that the devil gives us nothing and nothing is plenty for us. That is the same mentality that these 1% individuals, they want you to think that way. They want you to be very lethargic when it comes to standing up for your rights. Our rights are constantly being taken away from us. And we just sit there, oh, okay, well, I guess they're watching us on their phone when I'm in there showering, but, I guess that's fine. We got to choose between this guy and this guy. But you know what? I don't like. Imagine just coming at the dinner table and you got some ham hocks and you got some chitlins, and then we got supposed to make a choice of what we want to eat, and we do that. Yeah, it's funny, y'all. But
so any other current events you want to cover before we wrap up?
This main thing, just going back to what, like I said, that Julian Assange thing, that is really, really major. It's a tremendous day for all truth seekers, all whistleblowers. Understand that there's whistleblowers that's coming out. I got two more whistleblowers I'm gonna mention. One whistleblower is named Bob Lazar. I'm gonna spell it out. B-A-B, Bob, that's easy. Lazar, L-A-Z-A-R. Who's that? That's an individual who was working in Area 51. He actually worked on crafts. down crafts that they found crashed. It was more than 3. Now they have about 8 of them now. He actually reverse engineered. He's been inside of crafts. He knows what it looked like. He's been a part of the individuals who've been completely used, applying their knowledge as far as electronics and things of that nature to remake these particular things for the American government, which the American government does have these things. But he gets ostracized. He gets his name shot up on. Another individual named Gary McKinnon. This is a British hacker. British hacker went on to the web. He's able to find ways to get into the hard drive of America military. And guess what he found out? He found troves and troves of information. Shout out to my whistleblowers out there. Shout out to my white hats. The ones that know how to matriculate these systems. And they see, shout out to Eric Snowden, the people who are working with the military and the CIA and the government. And they see this type of information and say, I think the public needs to do that. They need to know about this. We're not keeping this information privy. But this guy, Gary McKinnon, discovered that there are logs and logs of military ships and how many crew is on them, the entire cargo system, what's all in the cargo of these ships. And the funny thing about these ships, none of these ships are boats. None of these ships are planes. These ships that he's surmising, there's already a very, very advanced space travel aspect of this particular United States government, that if the common average citizen was to find this information out, it would completely just blow your mind and topple your mental capacity. And before I leave off, I'm going to finish. My last thing I'm going to share about this. There was something called the Brookings Report. That 1962, the particular president of that time gathered in individuals from all sectors of the cabinets, from education to finance to the stock market to agriculture, brought them all in and said, if we was to tell the American people the truth behind their interaction with...
Guess what I just did? Ooh. I downloaded the new grocery outlet
a little commercial. If we was to share the truth
having my own miniature neighborhood
about what's going on in the world, so to speak, the truth about what they're hiding there in the Vatican, the truth about what the government is keeping from us in the form of anti-gravitic technologies, things that Nikola Tesla was speaking about, zero-point energy, how you can treat AIDS, they already have the cure for AIDS. The jab, all of these particular things. If they was to tell the American people, mind you, at the time it wasn't no jab, but if they was to tell the American people about this anti-gravitic information that they're able to get from these extraterrestrials, which they're working in collusion with, what would happen? They all disbanded, came back a few months later and found out that if the American public would know some of the knowledge that is inside of this brain right here, that I'm trying to do this is 101. These are little snippets of knowledge driven. I didn't really gone into nothing yet, be honest with you. But if the truth was being shared at that time with the American people, the stock market would collapse. Violence would increase by such and so amount. School dropout rates would happen. So at that time, there was been a concerted effort to do their very best to band up as much knowledge and keep it from you and I. And they're working with Hollywood to kind of slowly inundate us with some of this information. But true and believe, when the truth comes out, as far as what the government is involved in and the knowledge that they take away from you and I to convince us that we are not divine, that we don't have a role to play in this world. Once that information hits the fan, it's called the shock of the hour. It's unavoidable, it's unstoppable, and it's unfathomable. And that is what troubles individuals like myself. Because the common individual, when they find out that your religious leaders have been lying to you, when you find out that your political authorities have been lying to you, one of the most readily available emotions is going to be anger. So they will take it to the streets. There will be times in America. There will be massive protests. Like I made this. It's all coming full circle, folks. As we start to wrap up, I started by saying about Kenya protests. It don't take them all day to recognize sunshine. Oh, you gonna try to pull some wool over our eyes and lead us down a path where the average citizens of Kenya is gonna and our descendants are gonna be baptized in this iniquity? Oh heck no. Oh, heck no. They're protesting right now. Those people who are trying to pull wool over the eyes of the Kenyan individual, they're in hiding. That will happen in America. Very shortly.
Quick question for you, going back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yes, sir.
You don't think Minister Farrakhan's a leader? And if you don't, why not?
I do not think Minister Farrakhan is a leader because I do not see the main thing. I just go here. The Million Man March was a tremendous opportunity. I was woke at that particular time. I was very, very much aware of what's going on. And so what happened in the Million Man March? This wonderful opportunity to bring well-meaning black men and others, a lot of allies too, to come together and have that happen. When was that? How long was that?
95.
95. Where we at now? Almost 20 years ago. And when that...
More than that.
Yeah, you're right. What I'm talking about? 25 years ago. More than that. Some almost about 30 years. Anywho, the point is, after that particular event, what was done? It was said, what was the last words that came out of Minister Louis Farrakhan, which we commonly call Minister Louis, since he is not operating in Farrakhan. Farrakhan is an energy that was loaned to him. He is not Farrakhan. He is Minister Louis. And so when Minister Louis said, go back to your communities and get involved in your communities. Any well-meaning individual would already have a system set up. And there's been individuals, and we'll talk about that on another program as well, as far as getting people involved into systems where they can actually continue this. It makes no sense if 30 years ago you get some information, you get revved up with energy of knowledge. Understand it's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Once you have that knowledge, you have to put that knowledge into motion, and you see how that relates, and that's called wisdom. And when you start to add those two together, then you get the larger scope of thing, which is the understanding. So knowledge, they say a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing if you don't have the wisdom and understanding. So what Minister Louis did, he provided the opportunity, the knowledge, but he did not provide any aspect for people to be a part of their own salvation. Or even have them, they should have had that once a year. Should have went on Zoom. It should have been a concurrent thing. Not only that, even with Minister Louis, what he did, as far as his role as a leader, being part of you see the thing, he part of the Bouye, he's a Masonic. He got the apron on. There's images out there. He's posed up. He got his Masonic. He's part of that. He's part of this institution that is set up to keep us from expressing ourselves. So no, I'm not a proponent of Minister Louis being a leader at this particular time. Where is the receipts? Show me beyond words of what this individual has done about. So, but one long story short, that's the past. That's the old that is past. We need new leadership. We need new, and that's you and I that's listening right now. This goes back to what the brother was saying. Like, where's our leaders at? It starts from average individuals. It starts with individuals like Dr. Stephen Greer. He was just a doctor. But he was so wanted to see something happen, like the disclosure happened so fervently that he put his energy. Now he looked around and said, well, I guess I'm the head of it now. I've always wanted to see a program where guys like Gito and individuals can come together. We can break like minds and really express knowledge on a mass level. I haven't seen anybody, so I got to do it myself. So as long as we take that mentality, then we would do that. But yes, we can. Our past leaders have already shown themselves. That's for Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all those are leaders in words and in mentality. Like, oh, that'd be nice if there was an actual leader. Not only that, going back to what you're saying, as far as the Nation of Islam, he never named a successor.
It's supposed to be Elijah Muhammad's son.
Somebody said that?
I mean, he's the national spokesman for the Nation of Islam, Ishmael Muhammad. He's Elijah Muhammad's youngest son.
It can't be no guessing particularly from a man who had he almost lost his life for the cancer that he had. He was about to go. He still didn't name a successor. Instead, what did he do? He actually got affiliated with the Scientology. Yes, Nation of Islam is Scientology is more of the leadership. I'm telling you right now, if he was to pass tomorrow, you would see an individual that don't look like nobody that's been with that star and crescent is gonna be standing up there, and they're the real ones who are actually leading that way. And that's a question that I asked the God when we was over and did the interview. I straight asked him. He told me, he said, well, Scientology is a system of dealing with mental health stuff going on. I'll let you cop that. So, yeah, so we need leaders right now in this
Our power.
G's, one more again.
Appreciate you.
Listen, though. Listen.
Yes, sir.
So, it's been nobody who showed more leadership than Minister Farrakhan in at least the last 50 years of our life. Let me tell you, there's nobody who's put themselves in the line of fire like Minister Farrakhan has all of our life. Is nobody that had the strength to say what that man have said and did what he have did and still living to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
There's no leader in our time that has the guts, the gall, and the knowledge that Minister Farrakhan brings to us. That's a fact.
I disagree with that.
I heard him say not too long ago, if any black man have any fear, then that already excludes them from what we call a black agenda.
You said anyone who has fear, it excludes
any
them from...
black man with fear in his heart.
Yes, sir.
Is already excluded from the conversation.
Yes, sir.
That we call a black agenda.
Black agenda. Oh.
I'm glad you're sharing this, brother. That's why I asked Brother Ptah. I'm kind of caught in the middle with it because, you said,
it's no middle. See, the thing is, then you said he didn't name his successor or a successor.
Yes, sir.
The thing is, do you know who is the most wanted man in the world? Probably.
The most wanted man in the world, probably? You talking about currently today?
In the world, the public enemy.
I don't think it's too many. All of them been.
You better believe Louis Farrakhan been on that list for about 40 years.
That's
public enemy number one.
I mean,
to the nation.
If you listen to what you're saying, if he's public enemy number one, that's a sad view. And it's a sad reality that we're living in. That individual...
That's the truth. Everybody else got eliminated. They whacked them all.
Exactly. But why is he still living? That's what I'm saying.
Why you think he's still living?
I know exactly why.
You think he's still living because he's Jesse Jackson?
I believe, from what I know. And
so the thing is, this the thing, right? It's called knowing how to move. See? All right? So Martin ain't know how to move, right? Malcolm was learning how to move, right? We learned from both of them. You feel me? So we know how to move. And I'm not Muslim by a long shot. Yes, but we know how to move, right? See,
what does that mean?
I grew up in Baltimore around the FOI.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And these boys know how to move.
Okay.
It's no more saying or telling or giving out free information to for people to kill us. There's no more of that. There's a lot of us turning on us. Right? So the thing is, the nations are rising. Right? And everything that America did that shit coming back tenfold.
True indeed. Fall of America. The Messenger wrote about it.
Right? And I'm going to tell you right now.
Hey, Gito, hold on a second.
Now,
Gito.
It ain't been a leader like Minister Farrakhan nowhere. You find it. You pick them out.
Gito.
Pick them out.
Gito.
It ain't been there.
Gito. Our brother Chris Butler said he works with the government.
Who don't?
But this
How
kind
can you not?
How can you can't
not?
work with the enemy.
Listen,
and
let me tell you something. Let's take local government for instance, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. We want to change some rules. We want to do some things. We want this. One of us going to have to be a city council member.
True.
One of us going to have to be a mayor.
True.
One of us going to have to be a governor.
True.
Right? What is that? We ain't working with the government.
hopefully not to the detriment of our people.
Right now, today, you using a government office. Are you working with the government?
Right.
Not to the detriment of our people, hopefully.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying, what I'm saying is, even on the street, you know what I mean? You take the biggest, let's say, street leader or drug leader on the streets, right?
Yes, sir.
9 times out of 10, he pampering somebody from the government, right? To be able to move around. I mean,
of course.
You know, it's like
this.
This.
Like
they say that black people, you know, white people got this argument. They say, oh, black people own slaves too, right? And so that's what they use to debunk or say, hey, black people had slaves too. So it ain't just a white thing, right? However,
but that's the
if
thinking.
I was a free man, all y'all was slaves, right? And I came and got all y'all, made y'all my slaves, right? Am I really making y'all my slaves, or am I freeing y'all from being they slaves?
But that's all of that goes into a big bag, and that's the big bag of what is being removed from this whole entire planet. All of that is old. Even the idea of knowing how to move and, you know, knowing how to affiliate. This whole wicked system is being corrupted. And even that mindset of like the slave, and I understand all of that. All of
that's
that.
The truth. And that's the truth. You got a point there. But I just implore you to really think about what you're saying and really research the kind of struggles, the kind of powers, and the kind of wickedness that actually chase people that's trying to make a change locally. Then take that and transfer that to who you think and what you think is happening to Minister Farrakhan.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm taking none of that. What I'm checking you is from what is mathematical and what can be proven. And what can be proven is that individual that you sharing, Minister Lewis. And I have in-depth knowledge. I really haven't really shared with y'all like where I was and what I've been through. But let me give you a little taste of something. You mentioned about individuals. There is individuals that have stand up like Malachi Z. York, Royal Jenkins. There's other individuals that have set up, even Elijah Muhammad. If you look at what Elijah Muhammad did, setting up farmland, setting up commerce with other countries, bringing in a fish market, ruled the fish market. You know, setting up his own transportation industry and trucking industries. Those was the example that came before Louis Farrakhan. Now, mind you, that's when we have real leaders. So when you said the idea about Minister Lewis being a leader at the time, that's a sad state of what it says. Because if that is the example, he is not the example
brother,
that is taking.
That's the reality. It's just like right now, right? I'm gonna keep it real with you. Right now, I'm fighting racist regulations here in York.
Yes, sir.
I'm fighting them. Racist regulations here in York. Right? When I look around the room as I'm fighting them, how many brothers you think I see? So the thing is, you could fight till you blue in the face, right? This and that. But if you ain't got no backing, right, you better know how to move. If your brothers ain't backing you, you better know how to move.
What do you mean?
If your brothers ain't willing to die with you, you better know how to move.
I wrote that down on
the only one did.
I wrote that down on my little paper.
The only one did.
What do you mean know how to move? Do you mean know how to bend your will in order to get things done in a wicked system? Is that what you mean?
You got to know how to. You got to know how to navigate. You got to know how to navigate.
Yeah,
It's treacherous waters.
I'm with you.
You got to know how to navigate. Yeah.
But
so whatever that navigation consists of.
We're not doing none of that this time. We're not navigating for nothing because the knowledge is being expressed right now is older knowledge than that. The ones who've been. This knowledge supersedes the man that's in power right now. The knowledge that at least that I'm sharing particularly is supersedes.
Who's in power?
Excuse me?
You say the man that's in power?
The man that's in power, you can call him whatever you want to call him. The man that has this, our forefathers who raised us.
I don't think he ever said he was in power. I don't think he ever brought that. I don't think he ever brought that type of.
Well, I'm talking about the ones. I'm talking about the 1%. I'm talking about the ones who are actually in charge of this whole entire country. I'm talking about the ones that Mr. Lewis, that everybody got to know how to move around them. I'm talking about them. Them ones that we've been moving around.
Well, no, this is the thing. So
those people about to get up out of here.
All right, so let's go back right before that.
Hold on. Someone said about black people owning slaves. Someone is saying, why did someone bring that up?
I brought that up to say that, historically, white people always tried to bring that up, that, hey, even black people own slaves.
I feel you.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
However, the thing is, some people look at it like that, but some of us know that, hey, I'm buying my cousins, I'm buying my aunts, I'm buying all y'all back.
I got you.
And y'all can live on this plantation, and y'all free from their plantation, right?
Yes, sir.
So just because on paper it say I own them,
I got you.
Don't mean that this is the same activity happening on this plantation,
right?
As it is Master Tim plantation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that was a valid point because you brought that up to share that you got to move within the system that is overhead to get the best out of it.
You kind of have to. You kind of have to. And just like you said.
I totally understand.
So you got Paramount. You were talking about earlier how Hollywood do this. Well, Paramount owns all media, right? So if they don't want something on
mm-hmm.
or don't want something shared,
mm-hmm.
you block from it, ban from it, or it just don't go up there.
Right.
Well, Paramount was the same people that put Hitler in office, along with Ford Motors, along with Winchester, right?
Yes, sir.
So, or Remington, along with Ford and Paramount, right? So the thing is, of course, they're gonna program you to what they want to program you on.
Of course,
right? Because these are the original Nazis.
Yes, sir.
The original Nazis come right from here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and they was called bankers. That's what they was called, merchant bankers. These are the original Nazis.
I mean, you said some really valid points, and even what you said about it in the mass media, it's owned by certain. BlackRock is owned by some. Like I said, let me say this: I love myself. I would never hurt myself. I would never kill myself. We about to get into some deep stuff right now. Gotta keep them crosshairs off me. But you're right. So this is the system that exists. Even you talking about even in the media being Paramount Pictures or whatever. When you want to get something done across, you got to go to some people. Those some people, the ones we've been moving around, the ones who set up this infrastructure, they are being removed. And they're needing to be...
Farrakhan already banned from all that. He banned from any social media.
You said who is?
Farrakhan, he been banned. He banned. Banned. They banned him. I don't know if you know that, but they banned him years ago. They banned him.
I mean...
He can't be on Facebook, Instagram, none of that.
Well, that was an opportunity to make your own app. Make your own social media site. You feel what I'm saying? If somebody... That's what I'm saying. True power is in our presence right now. And it's growing and growing. And so...
What the thing is...
Okay.
All right, you're right. No, I mean, yeah, all right. I mean, the thing is, the thing is, we don't have this true power that we have it. We have it within us.
Right.
Yeah, we have that type of power, right? We got cells. Our cells can produce 52 billion volts of electricity, potentially.
And
right?
real quick, let me just jump in real quick. I don't know if you ever heard that poem. It said, "What are we afraid?" It was in Coach Carter, and it's real popular. It says, "What are we afraid of the most? It's not that we're inferior. What we're afraid of is that we're infinitely powerful beyond measure. And when we shine our light, we subconsciously give others the right to shine their light." So, like I mentioned, this is a new day. This is a new infrastructure that has to be put. God spoke about this in the scriptures and scrolls that this wicked system has to come to the end. Even in Fall of America that the Elijah Muhammad put, it was a time, it was a race. It was a time that had a beginning and an ending. And the ending is coming up upon us right now. So what I'm going to share with you and anybody who's listening right now, we got to think deep and get up that whole root of the infrastructure that you said about the Paramount, the Black Rock, and even the fact, like you said about Minister Lewis, he was banned from things. He should have just made his own platform to come and do something. You feel what I'm saying? We got to think ground level to replace this world when it's coming out. Because if we think that this world we living in is going to continue like it is, it's falling off a cliff. And we're like on the bus. And if you don't get off the bus now, you will be going over the cliff with the bus.
Well, the thing is, it's easy to say, well, you know, he should have did this, or he should have did that, or he should create his own, or he should buy his own land, or he should have his own country. It's kind of easy to say that.
But it's valid. Whenever your predecessor did those exact same things, his predecessor, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, did all of those things. And you telling me you can't do nothing?
No, I understand, but that was at a different time.
Nah, that was a time where they would come for you, like for real. They would come for you.
I understand that, but however, you got so boom. Let's say you put a station together, a network or an app or anything, right?
Yes, sir.
But you still have to have that infrastructure to be able to run it, to be able to host it, this and that. As black people, we don't have those infrastructures.
Hey, that's the conversation. That's what we need to be talking about.
So the thing is, he could want to make whatever he want to make. Bill Cosby could want to have a network, right?
He could have. He was real close before they took him out.
however, who's going to host it?
I got you. But even like you mentioned about, there's people who've tried to come up and shake this system. And you're right. Bill Cosby, he wanted to buy NBC. They took him out. Even looking in the music industry, before Biggie died, he planned on changing his whole aspect of everything he was talking about. Same idea as the artist known as Prince. Same idea as Michael Jackson. He knew about all these individuals. That's why he's putting knowledge into his music videos to let us know who we really were. They was trying it on the low, but yet they was still too close to the system where they got touched.
Right.
So that's why we got to have an outside mentality and stick consistent with that. And when you shine your light, then everybody gravitates to that, and we all build together. We can't do this one person at a time. But appreciate the dialogue. But yeah, we got to agree.
Mr. Farrakhan is definitely Minister Farrakhan is definitely a profound leader. I would just like you to think about it a little bit and just maybe do some more research on him. I mean, it's been nobody louder than him. It's been nobody like him, our generation. And he the only one that survived. So I'm just saying,
I got you.
Is he working for them or is he moving smart?
I'll tell you exactly before you get off the phone. From my in-depth knowledge, let me give you a little bit.
Yeah.
I was actually affiliated with a branch of Islam, of the Nation of Islam. So I know those individuals. I know Ishmael. I know a lot of them high-ranking individuals. They see my face. They know me. I know them. And being at the time, going back, let's say in the 90s, when Minister Lewis, even an understanding of what Farrakhan was. He's not Farrakhan. He's Minister Lewis. That individual had came up against, I would say, the person that I sat at the feet of an individual who bestowed knowledge that'll blow most people's minds. And so I've been privy to conversations with that individual and Minister Lewis and those in the high ranking of officials, all of them. I'm telling you from a knowledge standpoint. I've been there. I've been part of it. I got the receipts and I got the T-shirts. That individual, Lewis, and I understand, and you're right, he is the most prominent individual that we can become close to decide as being a leader. However, he shirked in his duty.
Because somebody is a leader don't mean that they're your leader. He don't have to be your leader. But to discredit him like that and say he's not a leader is wild.
Well,
you want to know what's crazy? It's some people that told me that ain't Sharif, that's Eric. I only knew him as Sharif. Some people told me here in York, that ain't Sharif, that's Eric.
Well, I say this just dealing with the terminology. If he's a leader, then where's he leading us to?
Gito, what did they mean by that? That was my original name?
Yeah, right.
That's mentality. It's
right.
people, bro. Don't worry about all that. But
right,
like I said,
right.
we really don't even.
Brother Sharif. They said Brother Sharif. That's the Eric. I was like, oh man.
That's York though. That's York. When they think they know you.
That's what they know.
Black. That's black.
That's what they know.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I guess what they were saying was that's what they know me by.
Floyd Mayweather. There's a guy named Floyd Mayweather.
Yes, sir.
They hate Floyd Mayweather. The white people hate Floyd Mayweather because he's a cocky black man. Okay. Black people hate Floyd Mayweather because he's a cocky black man that can back it up every time.
I guess.
Gotta watch it.
I don't hate him.
Gotta watch it. It'll be a victim.
But Gito, in defense of the people who were saying that, they were just saying that's what they know me by. I think that's what they were saying.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. You know, some people refuse to give people that, you know, just like Cassius Clay.
I got you. Yeah.
Some people refuse to give people that that title that they gave to themselves, or that was put on them spiritually.
Right.
Feel me?
They choose names that was given to them by the slave master names. That's the names that they feel more comfortable.
Well, they don't look at it that way. They look at it like your parents gave you that name. That's your name, and that's what they know me by.
Your parents was ignorant, so you got to stay ignorant.
Right.
It's a mentality thing. You know?
I don't think it was nothing insulting. You know.
It just shows you the level.
That ain't how it was. Did you take it that way, Gito?
Because they know no better. You know what I'm saying? Because
Gito, did you take it that way?
This way.
Gito.
So they know no better.
Gito, did you take it that way, that they were being insulting and not just saying this is the name we know him by?
Oh, most certainly. I said that man named Sharif.
Right.
I said he go by Sharif. So his name's Sharif.
But and even that I did you said black people in the world right now, if you don't know no better, this goes into scripture where it said, my people lose their life for the lack of knowledge after it's been sent to them. So we had a tremendous representative, which was the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who didn't say nothing bad about Caucasian. Eventually, he said that he's the prophet for us all. He started things. He empowered the black man, and any other person who's talking right now, from Lewis to Clarence 13X to even Malcolm X. Martin Luther King before he died, which he was actually going to embrace the Honorable Elijah Muhammad right before he died. That's the reason why he died, because it was cops outside the house there in Detroit, Michigan, and he came and met with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in his home and decided that he was going to change his whole mentality. That's why he made that speech. He said, I see the mountaintop, but I can't go there for you, because he realized that for him to make that tremendous turn, that it made his life at risk, which it was at risk. So all of those individuals had a premier example, which is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And because parents did not teach their children about them, and because it was not put into the schools, now, black man, look at where we at. We lose our life for lack of knowledge after it was sent to us. And so this is the quagmire that we're in right now.
Matter of fact, I shared a story with Brother Sharif one time. There's a king named Arma. It was a king named Arma from Ethiopia. And King Arma single-handedly saved the Muslim faith A Christian king single-handedly saved the Muslim faith. Yeah, maybe we want to get into that one day.
For sure. Wonderful dialogue. Appreciate you, guys. Well, we about to,
yeah. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be good. I'm done for the night, though. I got y'all, bud.
Hey, Brother Gito, the brother Chris Butler wants to get with you. If you look on the live,
tell him message me.
On the stream, he said get with him. His name is Chris Butler. You'll see that he made a couple of comments on here.
All right, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
thank y'all, man.
Bro. Yeah, before we kind of close out, did you have anything you wanted to kind of chime in on all this song?
No, I think it was a good dialogue. It's good to disagree because you learn from each other, even though if you don't agree. And that's a good dialogue y'all had about the minister. I'm kind of caught in the middle because I'm a Muslim. I've always loved him. I always will love him. I don't know if that's his leadership is the answer, but who else is there, you know?
I'll say it right now. I love him as well. Mm-hmm. I have tremendous I love him. He had a part for me to be who I am. I remember I was working over there by Arsenal Road, over by the Round the Clock Diner. He was a warehouse in there. And I was a young man. We was in there moving boxes around over there, and there was a brother from Harrisburg. He had a little hat on. He was always quiet, real pious, and just straight chilling. And it got into dialogue, whatever. He gave my first thing with my first introduction into knowledge was the scrolls, the Holy Tablet scrolls from Malachi Z. York. And then this brother, he just gave me videos of Minister Lewis and Master Farrakhan. So yeah, at that time, that's when he was in Farrakhan. So that's when he was fiery and he was he was channeling a very divine being, a very divine energy. Was channeling a very divine energy source. However, just like how when the energy source goes, then the ego steps into it. You see that even in the Christian, the bling bishop. I mean, you may get inspired, righteously inspired, to do a certain thing, but when you're caught in this world, baptized in this world of sin and born in iniquity, things travel and zap you of your powers. And then you get to the point, and it gets egotistical. Then you start getting the golden watches and flying, and then it's all about you and less about the people. And that is evident because if it stayed with the people, we would have more physical things, more schools, more platforms and all that. But I have none but love and respect for, like I said, he's a reflection of me. I'm true to the words of what I'm saying. He is a portion of respect. However, truth out of season is like no truth at all. So everything that God was saying was truthful, but that's out of season. Now there's a new season. So if you enjoy this conversation, this is a community aspect. Like I said, we could dialogue in a very, very harmonious, respectful position regardless. I'm looking to get some Trump supporters on here, to be honest with you. I'm looking to get all varying degrees because that's real what true diversity means. First, you got to be able to speak up. All this shuffling and keeping your eyes down and it's time to, it's freedom time. It's time to wake up. It's time to really, if you have a point that you want to argue or get across, now's the time to do that. Like I said, from the music, the fluoride, and just the overall mentality that's been put into us is that we should be quiet and just go, okay, are we doing this now? Oh, Biden said do this. Oh, Trump said to do this. Nah, for the people, by the people. And we need to get back to that. So, real quick, I'm just going to close it on up. This is the Hour Power broadcast. This is the most powerful all hours. This is high-level conversation. Not none of that little squishy stuff. We get into the nuts and bolts of things and how this reality actually gets into. And like I said, new heaven and new earth. Which one new earth or new world order? Are you going to be part of the new world order, which these elitists have planned for you, where you have less of your values, less of your resources, less of your freedoms? Or if you're going to be stepping into the new earth, where you understand how divine you are and bring out those gifts that's put inside of you? It's all up to you. It ain't up to us. So this is the Hour Power broadcast every Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And also check out Ptah Shakur Speaks every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on this very channel. Also, check me out on Facebook, Ptah Shakur, YouTube, Ptah Shakur, Rumble, Ptah Shakur, and the Instagram, Ptah Shakur 1111. I don't know why I couldn't get Ptah Shakur, but Ptah Shakur 1111. And just real quick, I'm asking everybody to find that peace in your heart. Whether it be going off for a walk, whether it be getting into some really interesting books, conversation, find that peace. Because there's individuals that don't want you peacefully in this world right now. So when you find that peace, I promise you, you'll get in contact with the God divine inside of you. Breathe, meditate, close your eyes. Don't get caught up in all this stimulus. You can be on your phone for hours and you got this phone. As you're focusing on the outside, you're becoming empty within. Go within, meditate. Understand what your consciousness and your higher self is speaking to you right now. And when you do that, you understand that you are a portion of God. You're not a drop. You're not a drop in the ocean. You're the ocean in the drop. You are a divine being who's set here, and you have a role to play in this. And when you do that, share a little bit of that peace and love, happiness with your fellow human being, aka your reflections, and we can do our due diligence to flip all these cards over on the table so everything is sunshiny. Ain't nobody coming for us. We gotta do it yourself. So this is Ptah Shakur.
And I want to give a shout out to my queen, Taisha Jones, Taisha Burnett, as she goes by in North Carolina. Very supportive of the show. She admires you, and I don't know what I would do without her. So whenever you have a king, you need a queen to maximize who you are.
For sure. The feminine energy we need. That's another thing that needs to be changed. We need more feminine energy to be respected. Too many men presidents.
We want more sisters to come on here and express, themselves. This ain't no male chauvinist show, So
we gotta
if you got something to share, let us know. Me, Ptah, and we'll make it happen.
For sure. Mm-hmm. So like I said, everybody find that love and light that's inside of you. Make sure you share a little bit of that to the world, and let's all do our due diligence and make this heaven on earth. This is Ptah Shakur, Hour of Power. Love and light to you all.
Peace out.
Peace.